They never went to look for footage. They never tried to get footage.
On October 2nd, 2022, 25-year-old Rasheem Carter disappeared in rural Mississippi. What happened to him remains one of the most disturbing and controversial unexplained deaths in the state. Rasheem had traveled to Taylorsville, Mississippi for contract work as a welder and millwright. He was staying at a hotel in nearby Laurel while working in the area. But shortly before he disappeared, Rasheem told his mother that he was afraid for his life. According to his family, he said that 3 trucks carrying white men were following him and using racial slurs. He also reportedly expressed concern about a disagreement with the owner of the company where he was working, and then Rasheem vanished.
He said, me and the owner of this company not seeing eye to eye, mama. His name, which I can't say at this time, but if anything happened to me, he's responsible for it. I'm too smart, mama. He got these guys wanting to kill me. And that's what he sent to me.
Rasheem's family reported him missing on October 2nd. According to accounts from his family, he had also gone to the Taylorsville Police Department seeking help before he disappeared. His family says he was afraid and wanted assistance getting back to Laurel.
He goes to the police to try to see if they would carry him to the county line to get out the county. They tell him they're not a taxi service. That night he goes missing, Mark.
There is also a trail camera image from around the time of his disappearance that reportedly showed Rasheem in a wooded area. His family interpreted the image as evidence that he appeared to be running or trying to escape. Authorities, however, disputed that interpretation, saying the image did not establish that someone was chasing him. Then, almost exactly 1 month after Rasheem disappeared, investigators found human remains. On November 2nd, 2022, Rasheem's remains were discovered in a wooded area near Taylorsville.
This represents a young man who was killed. His head was severed from his body. His vertebrae, his spinal cord, was in another spot they discovered away from his severed head. They have recently found remains that they believe are also Rasheem Carter.
The circumstances surrounding the condition and location of those remains immediately raised questions. According to the autopsy information later reported by ABC News, Rasheem's head had been separated from his body, while his spinal cord was found in another location. Additional remains were subsequently identified through DNA testing.
Carter's family was given his head and spinal cord in a box from the state crime lab after the autopsy, and Crump says Carter's head was severed from his body. Now, the Smith County Sheriff has said if there is any evidence of foul play in Carter's death, he wants those people brought to justice.
But here's where the case becomes even more complicated. The medical examiner did not determine a cause or manner of death. The condition of the remains and evidence of animal activity made it difficult for investigators to determine exactly what happened to Rasheem or when some of his injuries occurred. Initially, the Smith County Sheriff's Office said there was no reason to believe foul play was involved. That statement generated enormous controversy. Rasheem's family rejected the idea that his death could simply be explained without further investigation, particularly because of his reported warnings that he was being followed and because of the condition in which his remains were found. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump later joined the family in calling for a federal investigation. The family believes Rasheem was murdered and that his death may have been racially motivated. But that allegation has not been established as fact. Authorities have said the evidence available to them did not establish that Rasheem was murdered, while the medical examiner ultimately classified both the cause and manner of death as undetermined. And that leaves some very difficult questions. Why was Rasheem afraid enough to tell his mother that people were following him? Why did he reportedly seek help from police? What happened between the time he was last seen and the discovery of his remains? Who, if anyone, was with him? And most importantly, how did Rasheem Carter die? His family has spent years demanding answers. As of the latest credible reporting I've found, the cause and manner of death remained undetermined, and the investigation had not produced a publicly established explanation for what happened to him. Whatever ultimately happened in those Mississippi woods, one thing is undeniable. Rasheem Carter's family is still waiting for answers. And for a mother who says her son told her he was afraid for his life just before he disappeared, that unanswered question is something she has had to live with every day. This is the story of Rasheem Carter, and the question remains, what happened to him? This is American Horrible Stories.